Lately, I've been getting a lot of questions about how to resign well. What do I say to my boss? What do I put in that letter? How do I tell my coworkers? As someone who just recently resigned, I figured this is something we should probably talk about. So let's discuss. Now, if this is your first video with me, welcome. My name is Cassandra and I help motivated professionals build their careers through practical tips to gain career confidence. And if you are in the middle of a job transition, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when new videos come out. I don't know why I poked up here. It's down here. Notification bell down there. But let's talk about resignations. Let's just be real. We could get into a lot of nuances, special situations around resignations. Well, what if I hate my job? What if I quit today and walk out tomorrow in a blaze of glory? What if my boss is toxic? There's so many things that could be discussed on this. But today I want to give just the high level overview, kind of the overarching things that you need to think about no matter what the situation is. First, the timeline. Now, if you are leaving your job because you've already accepted another position, you need to talk with the new job about your start date and tell them about ample time for letting your old job know. Sometimes people are really eager to have you start and they'll say something like, let's say it's a Wednesday, they'll go, "We're so excited that you accepted the position. We would love to have you start on Monday." With that, if that sort of thing happens, you need to make sure you say something like, I am so ready to get started with you all, but I want to give respect to my current employer and what they've given me. And so I definitely need to give 2 weeks notice, or maybe in this case, 2.5 weeks until my start date. Oftentimes that conversation will come up during the interview process. When's the earliest you can start? And you can give a similar answer, like, I'm excited to start as soon as possible, but once I get confirmation from you that I am the right candidate, I am going to need at least 2 weeks to give to my current employer, and then I would be able to start. So make sure you're having that conversation ahead. You don't want to be put in this awkward situation of having to possibly burn a bridge by being like, peace out to the new people. Or if this new company is like, no, sorry, we need you to start tomorrow, I want you to really think about, do you really want to work for a company that's going to be that demanding? Just think about it. 2 weeks is pretty much US standard, but always check your employer contract, any union guidelines, etc. Now, there is this whole thing out there that a company can, when you give 2 weeks, say, we will not take your 2 weeks. You will be leaving today. Please go pack your things. This scares people. Obviously, it scares people, but you're probably, hopefully, have been there long enough to kind of see how this has happened with other people. If not, check industry standards as well. There are certain industries where you have so much private information that they're like, we can't have you hanging around for 2 weeks and then taking trade secrets to a competitor, things like that. So industry by industry, this is going to change. Look into that as well. What's kind of common, I don't want to say standard, but common for your industry. That's going to change your timeline a bit. If you're in a position where you know that you have a little bit of time before that new job starts, or you're, like in my case, leaving to go do your own business, I could kind of choose my end date. I let my boss know pretty early. I think I gave 2 months notice. Now that is rare. That is not going to be for everybody. But depending on your situation, if you know that they aren't going to say, bye, see you today when you give notice, and you want to help in making it a smooth transition, you have a good relationship with your boss, there's nothing wrong with giving a little bit more notice. 2 months isn't something most people are going to give, so please don't hear that as like, oh, that's what she's saying. I'm saying if you can give 3 weeks, if you can give a month, that's going to be helpful. I have left a job that I had been at for years and gave 2 weeks notice, and it just felt crazy to me. Like, really? After all these years I worked here, I'm just gonna say like, sorry, I'm gone in 2 weeks. Those 2 weeks go fast. For some of us, it will feel kind of strange. Even if you are like, God, I cannot wait to leave this place. There's something about 2 weeks that goes very fast, but that is the standard. So now that you have kind of the basic timeline, here is the general process for how to resign. So First, draft your resignation email or letter. Some places want a formal letter. I have had to do that before, type up the letter on letterhead and present a formal letter to said employer. Most of us are working from home right now. It will be an email, and other places are just fine with you sending an email. But you're going to send a formal resignation letter. This can be brief. They don't need to know every detail of why you're leaving. And we're also going to be very gracious in this letter because we want to leave gracefully. We might need somebody in this company or like 5 people in this company to give us recommendations one day, letters of reference, etc. So you want to leave nicely. So you're going to say something like, "Dear supervisor, I wanted to let you know that I am resigning from my position of blah, blah, blah. My last day will be yada, yada, yada. I've thoroughly enjoyed my time working here and the knowledge and skills I have received in the role. Sincerely," right? You can also say, "This is my letter saying 2 weeks notice. I'm giving you my 2 weeks notice that I will be leaving on." Now, it's also sometimes common to add where you've moved to. I have recently accepted a position at blah, blah, blah. That's not their business. But sometimes it's helpful. Sometimes it's something that you have a great work situation where they'll be excited for you. Like, it's cool when you have that kind of boss, but don't think you have to tell them. Now, the other thing you might want to put in here is what you're going to do over the next 2 weeks to help the transition. Like, over the next 2 weeks, I will make sure to put a guidebook together of what I've done in my role, or I've had people make me help write the job description for the next person. If you're not sure what should be happening, don't worry. You're just going to say, "Please let me know any ways I can help make this transition as smooth as possible in these last 2 weeks." Keep it short, keep it brief, but we don't hit send yet because we need to talk to somebody first. Think about this like dating. We all know it's crappy if someone just texts you, "I don't want to see you anymore." Like, what? That came out of nowhere. It's the Carrie in Sex and the City having Burger tell her, "I'm sorry, I can't, don't hate me," on a Post-it. No, no, no. We want to do this face to face. As uncomfortable as it might be, you need to talk to your boss face to face. So set aside a specific time. Ask them for a time to meet and talk. Awkward conversations are a part of life. And you're going to go in and you're just going to say, "I wanted to let you know that I recently accepted a new position. I'm moving to do blah, blah, blah." Whatever the reason is, be as general or specific as you want. "And I wanted to let you know my last day is," and give them your last day. Make sure you also say some kind things during this. "I've thoroughly enjoyed my time working here. I've learned so much in this role, and I'm excited to take those skills into this new position. I really felt it was time for me to grow, and I'm thankful for the time I had here. And of course, I'll miss you and the others I've met here." Those words are going to flow very sincerely, or you're going to have to really work to make sure you're saying something through gritted teeth. This is not the time to air grievances, okay? We do not say, "Yeah, I'm out of here because frankly, this is a toxic work environment and I can't take it any longer. And so for my sanity, peace out." Do not air grievances. And then again, you're going to reiterate, "I'm happy to be here to help with anything you need over the next 2 weeks to make this transition as smooth as possible," or "Please let me know what you need me to do to help make this transition smooth." Then leave time for any questions they may have. Like, you can't say that and then just get up and walk out. They might have questions, or they might say some really nice things about you and thank you for your time, etc. And so you need to just give them that opportunity. So once you've talked to the supervisor, now we're going to go back and send that email. And full transparency, in most of those conversations, they're going to tell you, "I'm going to need you to send me a formal resignation letter or email." You're going to say, "No problem," and you just go back to your desk or click off that Zoom and open the window and hit send on your email. You're ready to go. Now there's telling everybody else. Once your boss knows, now you can tell other people. This can be done in different ways. If you're in an office that is open right now and you're seeing people, I would go to the people I'm closest to and tell them face to face. Now, if you're working from home, maybe it feels like one more thing to set up a Zoom. maybe you do just call those people, or if you have a texting relationship, depends on the office, but it wouldn't be weird to text those people, just letting them know, I wanted you to hear it from me before I send this email. Then you need to think through, who are the people you need to tell? Your department, the clients you work with, your customers, that department or cross-functional team you're on, in another area of the company. I would also talk about this with your boss. Hey, is it okay if I send the email to the team? Did you want that to come from you? Certain companies have certain processes, but write a letter to your coworkers saying, I wanted to let you know my last day is blah, 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 blah. Very similar to the resignation letter, might be slightly more casual. And then also leave your contact info of how they can get in touch with you. Like, I would be happy to stay in touch. Here's my email. You don't know who you're going to want to know in the future, so keep in touch. Sometimes people give that 2 weeks notice and then they're like, cool, I'm just gonna go on cruise control until this is over. No, we still work as if we were showing up every day for the next year. And I think the fact that you're here and watching this video tells me you're the person who knows you shouldn't do that sort of thing, but just make sure you are keeping up with your pace that you had pre-resignation during those last 2 weeks. And then also, some companies will direct you towards this, but make sure you also check in with HR about your benefits. What investments do you need to roll over to something else? Getting the process for how you roll those over. What about insurance, COBRA, all those sorts of things. If you're moving straight into a new position, this is easy, but if you're resigning because you're moving to another state for a significant other's job transfer and you don't have a job yet, or you're quitting for medical reasons or whatever, you're going to want to know those things. So talk with HR as well. Then the other thing you always want to make sure you do is download any files you need, any contacts you have, anything that maybe, like, let's be real, you saved to your computer that maybe was personal and you probably shouldn't have saved it to your work computer or cloud or whatever. Make sure you've downloaded all those things into your personal assets, your own laptop, iPad, phone, etc. So you have those contacts and files for the future. Let's recap the key things to remember. Number 1, give 2 weeks notice. Number 2, draft your email, then talk to your boss, then send the email, then tell everyone else. And number 3, save files and contacts, okay? Those are the key things that you need to know about resigning. Let me know down below in the comments, what other questions do you have about leaving a job? Resignation letters, telling people, finishing well. Let me know what questions you have. And if you are watching this video because you did get a new job, first off, congrats to you. Secondly, I have a video for you on how to have the best first week ever at your new job. I'll put it right here and it'll be in the description box below. That's it for today. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.